Hello, wonderful students. We are on Chapter 11, Lesson 8, page number 845. Page 845, we're on 11.8, excuse me, 11.8, page 845. If you see this sub-sandwich, haha, double entendre, a sub-sandwich and a submarine. Then you know you're on the right page. And we're going to be displaying measurement data on a line plot. And let's see what it says. 6 friends shared several foot-long submarine sandwiches. The table shows the amount each friend ate. Make a line plot of the links in the table. So here's our table, and here's how much each person ate. So one person ate a third of a foot, one person ate a third, one person ate a third, one person ate a half, a fourth, and a fourth. So we're going to count the number of times each fraction appears in the table. So it says 1/4 appears how many times? So we have 1, 2. So 1/4 appears 2 times. 1/3 appears 1, 2, 3 times. And then 1/2 appears 1 time. And now we're going to place x's above each fraction on the number line. So here's 0. And here's 1. So here's a half. It's right in the middle of 0 and 1. And then a fourth is right between 0 and a half. And a third, we imagine if we divided it into 3 sections, that's 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, or 1. So we're going to put 2 x's above 1/4. So 1 there and 1 there. There's 2 1/4, so we put that. Above 1/3, we're going to put 3 x's, because there's 3 times that number is on there. And then 1/2 just has 1. And so that is, we just put 1x. And it says add a title to the line plot. So we can put, let's see, sandwich lengths. That's what we are plotting. Sandwich lengths. In feet. Sandwich lengths in feet. So this is, this type of diagram here is called a line plot. And we're plotting down how many times we've used that number. So you can glance and see that 1/3 was used 3 times, the most. Then next was 1/4, and the last was 1/2. Okay. Let's go to the next page. You can find the fair share, or the amount each friend would receive if the sandwiches were divided equally. This is also known as an average. Fair share or average. First, add the measurements to find the whole, and then divide by the number of measurements. So, find the fair share from our line plot in example 1. So we're going to add all the fractions to find the total amount of sandwiches eaten. So we're going to add the fractions with like denominators first. So we go back and we have 2 x's above 1/4. So we have 1/4 plus 1/4, which is 2/4 or 1/2. Then there were 3 x's above the third. So we have a third plus a third plus a third. A third plus a third plus a third. So they've got common denominators. So we have 1, 2, 3, 3/3 or 1 whole. And then the last one, there's 1 x above the 1/2. So we're just going to add 1 1/2. So the numbers we add together here are 1/2. It's got that there. Well, let me zoom out a little bit. 1, it's got that right there, and 1/2. So we've got 1/2 plus 1/2, which is 2 halves or 1 whole, plus 1. 2 whole sandwiches were eaten. Divide the total amount, 2, by the number of x's on the plot line. So we have how many x's on the plot line? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 divided by 6. So here's 2 sandwiches, and we divide it into 6 equal parts. Each piece represents 1/3 of a sandwich. So if the sandwich is divided equally, each person would have 1/3 of a sandwich. So you can You can draw the sandwiches like this, and like if you imagine, you can draw it to look like a sandwich if you want. Put some lettuce. There's 2 whole sandwiches. And if you divide it into 6 even pieces, you would say, divide this one in thirds and this one in thirds. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3, 3 thirds, 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Each, the fair share, the average is 1/3. And so the other way you can do that is 2 divided by 6. Which number always goes in the house? The first number always goes in the house, even though it's smaller. So you can't do this, but you can annex a 0. Oh, to annex a 0, I have to have a decimal. I forgot about that. Mrs. Bodell forgot. That's 2. I have to put the decimal up there. And I'm going to keep getting this 0.33333, and it would have a line over it because it continues. So 1/3 is the same as 0.33, and so that's the same. Okay, let's take a look at our guided practice. It says make a line plot of the measurements in the table, then find the fair share. So we've got to first mark up our line plot. We definitely need a 0 and a 1. They're all fractions less than 1. And the other marks we need, let's see, are 1/4 and 1/2. So half is going to be in the middle. And then 1/4 is going to be right in the middle of 1/2 and 0. So now we see how many fourths there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2s. So I made my line plot, and now I find the fair share, or the average. So I've got 1/4, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So you can either go like this, or the same thing, 4 times 1/4. So these are all a common denominator. I add the numerators, 1, 2, 3, 4 equals 4/4, or 1 whole. 4 over 1, 4 times 4 is 4. 1 times 4. So both of them are 1. So we have 1 here. And then half, we have 1/2, 1, 2, 3, 4, times 4, which is 4/2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1 plus 2 equals 3. So now we're going to divide that by 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 divided by 8. So let's see, 3 divided by 8. Well, we can Sorry about that, you guys. My computer froze up there a bit. So 3 divided by 8. Which number always goes in the house? The first number. 3 divided by 8. Now I can put my decimal point and annex a 0. How many times does 8 go into 30? 8 times 7, or 8 times 4 is 32. That's a little too big. 8 times 3. 24, I subtract, annex another 0, 8 into 60, 8 times 7, oh, I've got to put more room over here, is 56, and then bring down another 0, 8 goes into 45 times. So the fair share is 0.375 a person. 0.375 a person. Now you can divide it up like you did with the sub sandwiches, 3 divided by 8 pieces, but this one's actually a little tricky. It's hard to divide 3 into 8 even pieces. So let's see. That would be half. This would be a fourth. This would be an eighth. But it's hard. See, it doesn't line up exactly, so it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what that number would be exactly. So sometimes it's easier just to do the division. We're going to do more. Let's practice. Number 2, make a fair share line plot of the measurements in each table, then find the fair share. Okay, we have to draw our line plot. We have a 0 and a 1. We have a fourth, a half, a third, 3/4. Okay, so we have a half. I always start with the half, and you should too. It's so easy to see the half. And then the fourth is also easy. Remember, it's like right between half and 0, like a quarter. And then we can do 3/4, a fourth, a half, 3/4. Now the third is a little bit trickier. It's kind of in between these two. If you divided it in thirds, it would be about there. Okay, so 1/4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that right? Let me circle them as I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 1/3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now 1/2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now 3/4. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to get the fair share. So we're going to add up each of them. I have 1/4 times 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. That's 4/4 or 1 whole. 1/3 times 3. Ooh, I already know that one too. 3/1. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3/3 equals 1 whole. We've got another 1 whole. 1/2 times 1, 2, 3. So that one is going to be 3/1. So it's 3/2. Or if you converted that, 3 divided by 2 equals 1 with 1 left over. Remember, to convert, you divide 3 by 2. 2 can fit in it 1 time with 1 left over, or you can convert this way. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3, 3/2 to check your work. And then we have 3/4 times 1, 2 over 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 1 is 4. 6/4, which is 6 divided by 4. 4 fits in it 1 time with 2 left over. 2/4. Oh, that's also 1 and 1/2. So we're going to add these all together. We have 1 and 1/2 plus 1 and 1/2 plus 1 plus 1. So let's add all our whole numbers first. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have a half and a half. Half and a half is another whole, so we have 5. Divided by, to get the fair share, the average, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 5 divided by 12. Which number always goes in the house? The first number always goes in the house. So I'm going to go 5 divided by 12. Now I cannot fit 12 into 5, so I'm going to add my decimal and then annex a 0. Add, oh, did it freeze up? It froze up again. Sorry, you guys. I'm going to add my decimal here, and then I'm going to annex a 0. The reason I have to add my decimal is because that's where the decimal's at. So we can't just add a 0 and make it 12 into, or 50 divided by 12. We have to make it, it's still 5. It's 5.0 divided by 12. So how many times does 12 go into 50? Well, 12 goes into 54 times. 4 times 12 is 48. I subtract. 2 left over. I can annex another 0 and bring it down. How many times does 12 go into 20? Just 1 time. 8 left over. Annex another 0 How many times does 12 go into 80? Let's see, 12 times 6 is 72. 12 times 7 is 84. Too big, so 12 times 6. So once you get to this tenths, hundredths, thousandths place, I'm going to let you stop. So your fair share here is 0.416. If everybody split it evenly, that would be your average or your fair share divided evenly. And that's, remember, about 4 out of 10. 4, that's 4 tenths, 4 out of 10. It's officially 416 out of 1,000, but that 4 tenths means 4 out of 10. So it would fit right about there, would be your average. Okay, iced tea, we're going to plot it, and then we're going to do the fair share. We have our 0, we have our 1. Do we have a half? Yes. I always start with the half. It's the easiest to see, and then I go to fourth. It's right between half and 0. There's no 3/4, but if I want to put it here, I can. Let's see, half, a fourth. Ooh, an eighth. That's halfway between 0 and 1/4. Okay, that's it. So 1/2. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1/4. I've got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1/8. I've got 1, 2. 1, 2. Now I'm going to get the fair share, so I'm going to add everything up, and then I'm going to divide it by the number of x's. This is also the average. So I have 1/8 plus 1/8, or you can also do 1/8 times 2. It's the same thing. 2/8, or if we divide out of 2, 1/4. Now I have 1/4 times 3, or 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4, which equals 3/4. Now I have 1/2 times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, 1, 2, 3, 4 equals 4 halves. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. So I have 2 wholes plus 3/4 plus 1/4. Well, 3/4 plus 1/4, just those ones, that's 4/4, or 1 whole. So that equals 1 whole. 1 whole plus 2 equals 3. Now, how many do I have to divide by? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3 divided by 9. Now this one, it's a factor of each other, so I can go ahead and do this way if you want. 1, 1, 1. And I'm going to divide each one into a third. Or into, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divided into 9 pieces. So there's 3 pieces. And then this should be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So a third plus a third plus a third plus a third plus a third, a third, a third, a third, a third should be all around that. Now we also can go like this, 3 divided by 9. Which number always goes in the house? The first one. I can put that here, annex my 0, but I have to put that. And 9 goes into 30, 9 times 3 is 27. And this is going to be 0.333, and 1/3 is the same as 0.33 with a line over it. It's going to continue. Okay, let's do a couple more. Let's skip sliced turkey. Let's skip that one and just do this one, number 5. This is going to be our last one. We've got our 0 and our 1. We have a half. That's going to be right in the middle. We have a fourth, which is going to be right between a half and 0. And then we have a third, which is right in the middle of those two, like that. So here we go. 1/2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1/3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And a fourth, we have 1, 2. So now to do our fair share or average, we do 2 times 1/4, which is 2/4 or 1/2. We do 3 times 1/3. We have 1, 2, 3 of them. It's 3/3 or 1 whole. We multiply it across the numerator and across the denominator. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 1/2 equals 5/2 or 2 and 1/2. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. 5/2. We add those all together. We have a half plus a half. That's 1 whole. 2 wholes, 3 wholes, 4. 4 wholes is the total. We divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 divided by 10 pieces. So we're going to go 4 divided by 10. So which number always goes in the house? The first number always goes in the house. 10 cannot fit, so we're going to make this a 4.0 and annex a 0. How many times does 10 fit into 40? 4 times, with nothing left over. Our fair share is 0.4. That is if you divided it evenly. Fair share, remember, is another word for average. Average is the total divided by the number of add-ins. Great work, my friends. You've got this. Keep it up.